The dead man spoke at 10. The tide had drowned the road to Wren House, and I was Detective Elias Ward. Silas Wren, collector and tyrant, summoned me because someone under his roof meant to steal the Blue Hour, a sapphire brooch the size of a robin's egg. He showed it after dinner, blue fire under glass, and 3 people watched. Vera Wren, his daughter, in black satin and cut from his will. Malcolm Reed, his silver-haired curator, buttoned into burgundy, and Dr. Celeste Harrow beside a green medical case, calm except for one white-knuckled hand. Silas held leverage over all 3. Once Malcolm left to fetch Silas's reading glasses and returned without them. But nobody noticed. At 9:40, Silas raised his brandy and said, "At 10, Ward. Meet me in the study. I'll give you the thief's name." Then the lamps died. Beyond the windows, the sea climbed the causeway stone by stone and erased every route home, while inside, Wren House kept its clocks wound and its grudges sharper than the wind, waiting for 10. We found storm lanterns, and each suspect offered motive disguised as explanation. Vera admitted her inheritance was cancelled that morning. Celeste said Silas threatened to expose prescriptions she'd altered years ago for a dying patient. And Malcolm claimed devotion, which is fear-wearing cufflinks. At 10, all 4 of us stood in the great hall, when Silas's voice came through the brass speaking tube. "At 10, Ward, meet me in the study. I'll give you the thief's name." The same words, and the same thief, then silence. We crossed the hall and found Silas motionless behind his desk, one hand beside an open medicine bottle. Celeste checked him and shook her head. The Blue Hour's case stood open. The brooch was gone, the causeway was underwater, and the windows latched, so our thief and killer remained inside. Beneath the speaking tube I found a crescent of cobalt wax, smaller than my thumbnail, and sealed it in a glass envelope. Blue wax followed me. Vera's burned will carried a blue seal. Celeste's heart drops had a blue waxed stopper. In the music room, blue dictation cylinders surrounded an antique phonograph. Vera claimed she burned the will during the blackout, but ash on her sleeve was cold. She had burned it earlier. Her lie hid humiliation, not murder. Celeste's bottle was open, and Silas had received too much medicine. Yet a pale rectangle inside her case showed one vial disappeared before the blackout during dinner. Only Malcolm had left the table, supposedly for glasses he never brought. Still, Malcolm stood beneath the chandelier when Silas spoke at 10, a perfect alibi, if the dead man spoke. I held the wax crescent to a lantern. Sealing wax breaks smooth. This piece bore fine, parallel grooves, and its underside curved. In the music room, it fitted the chipped rim of a blue cylinder. I wound the phonograph, and Silas's recorded voice rose from its horn. Because Malcolm had captured the dinner sentence, set a clockwork release, and aimed the horn into the speaking tube. While a dead man manufactured his alibi, Malcolm stood beside us listening. He ran for the door, but the tide had other ideas. Inside the phonograph horn, I found the brooch wrapped in burgundy thread, and under my lens the sapphire held one tiny bubble. Glass. Silas had not uncovered a theft planned for tonight. He had learned Malcolm stole the real stone years earlier and replaced it with paste, so tonight's performance erased the evidence and murder silenced its witness. Vera stared at the false jewel. Celeste closed her case, and Malcolm looked smaller than his waistcoat. By dawn, police lamps crossed the uncovered road. I kept the blue chip because truth seldom arrives whole. Usually it comes broken, small enough to overlook and sharp enough to cut through every lie in the